Antonio Brown. All right, so this is our third time covering his incident, but peep the news that broke. Authorities are seeking Antonio Brown's arrest for an attempted murder charge tied to last month's boxing event incident. That was the one, believed put together allegedly, I'll say, by Aiden Ross, right? So footage that came out, we covered it, but we got to jump back to it and rehash this again because these charges, they can put people in jail for a significant amount of time if convicted. So all the reports that I've seen thus far is that he's charged and as if he has yet to turn himself in or they have yet to find him. But according to the Washington Post, authorities in Miami-Dade County are seeking to arrest former NFL wide receiver Antonio Brown on a charge of attempted murder stemming from the shooting at a celebrity boxing event in May, according to a warrant. The warrant, which was signed by a judge Wednesday, lists a charge of attempted murder with a firearm and calls for Brown to post a $10,000 bond and remain under house arrest pending trial. So, first thing there is if I'm on the lam right now, yeah, you get your affairs in order, you hire your lawyer, you get your money together, you pull out money from your bank account if you need to, you give it to your peoples, hey, give it to your wifey, you might this, somebody might come to you for the bread here, make sure the rent's taken, whatever. You get your affairs in order, and then you go turn yourself in, and then you post this $10,000 bond. Okay. A warrant coming out because I'm used to a process of you get arrested, you see the judge looks over everything, and the judge then determines bond or not. And you either gonna take your ass back into prison, or you're gonna go back until it's posted, regardless. You know what I'm saying? But for the warrant to come out and at the same time being told that you also have a bond, obviously that happens. That sounds pretty sweet. And I think that Antonio Brown has $10,000, right? I set up my quick affairs, hire my lawyer, make sure that some money is where in the hands that I need it to be in. I go turn myself in, and hopefully in 24 to 48, I'm right back out on the block, and I'm counting down to trial. You know what I'm saying? So he's got a bond. Shouldn't play with that at all. But the other thing that I'm looking at here is they're saying one of the charges listed is attempted murder. You gotta assume that if we read this warrant or if we read these charges, and I look for them real quick and I didn't find them, it might be too soon. There's a lot of stuff that sometimes you got to actually go to the clerk, within that district or city or department, or whatever, to grab. So I don't see the actual paperwork online yet. But you gotta assume that this isn't the only charge that's there. There's probably charges in there of like reckless endangerment, discharge of a firearm in certain locations. Is the gun legal? Is the cereal scratched off like what they grabbed out of Diddy's crib? You know what I'm saying? You got to assume that there's other charges on there as well. And not just because, hey, this is what we see or the investigation that we've done so far, and we put it all in the warrant, or I would say the charges or the indictment, whatever, right? But also, you compound all this stuff, and okay, here we go. It's either going to be a plea deal and hope that you plead out. They be wanting you to plead out, take a deal, right? Or if you go to trial, yeah, there's 10 charges that you got here, and we're going to try to catch you on at least one or two. You know what I'm saying? So I doubt highly that it's just attempted murder that he's about to fight. That's the biggest thing that he's about to fight. All right. So we gotta continue to look at the past of this. But before I jump to the past of what we already kind of broke down and say this is how he got to this point, he did put out what seems to be a response briefly. Antonio Brown speaks out after being charged with attempted murder. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Okay, so what is this, like a tweet or something like that? Want to play? Then play hard. Okay, that's a pretty solid, I guess, position to take, right? Now the footage, some of the stuff that's slightly incriminating that you feel like they're going to use against him. Here's some of it.
Um, so there was a viral videos going around from this event last month where you see Antonio Brown get into a big scuffle with a bunch of guys. He claims they were trying to steal his jewelry. They deny that. But after the scuffle, you see various, perspectives, different people's footage of Antonio Brown running after someone with a gun in his hand. You see him like cock the weapon, and then you hear all the shots ring out.
Oh, I didn't realize that detail. there's footage of him running somewhere, cocking the weapon, and then you hear shots, that wouldn't be good. Because that order of event. Here's the thing about shootings, and I pray that we all can avoid shootings, period, right? But even if you are involved in something, whether it's self-defense, like here's the thing about that, especially self-defense. They want any state, like there are stand your ground states, but they want you to not utilize that weapon, any of these courts, unless your life is in danger or you feel like you are protecting the health or the life of your own or others. Okay. If you are running, the footage could be looked at like, okay, once you have an ability to retreat from the situation, it starts to remove the justification for still firing at somebody. Okay. Especially if the shots are fired or the alleged victim or the alleged target is in the same direction as he ran in. They want you to run the opposite direction if you're going to run. If you get into your car, you get the gun out the glove box, and then you get out and you shoot, you're going to have some problems in court because they're going to say, the moment you got into the car, did you have your keys? How come you didn't drive off? That's what they want you to do. They want you to take every opportunity to retreat. I saw a video online one time of a guy who had his hand on his gun on his hip, right? And he was being backed down through the parking lot into a store and then into an aisle of a store all the way up to a wall where he couldn't back up no more. And I think the guy might have been pressing him with a knife. And he was just like, yo, back up, back up, back up. He's retreating the whole time. Back up, back up. Finally, he pulled his gun and shot the guy. And he still had to go through the process. Now, this footage definitely gets you off. It's retreating. Then your back is to the wall. I can't retreat any further. This guy got a knife. That's it. I'm pulling out extremely deadly force, right? But the retreating factor is still something that they are interpreting in these shootings. So if you ran towards the target and then they see you on footage cocking your gun, and then the shots are heard, because there's also separate footage of like people running away, and then they hear the shots, like that they have the audio of it, and they start to put the times of this stuff together, just like ASAP Rocky shooting. Okay, this shooting from this camera right here is where we see the scuffle taking place, and then this camera over here, we're going to a line because this is where you start seeing the car lights flashing. The car lights started flashing because they car alarms was going off from the gunshots and all that type of shit. They start putting it all together, and then it's just like, oh wait, you ran to the issue with a gun in your hand on footage. Then we hear the shots. That's tough to fight in court. You got to have a great lawyer, and you got to create all these different type of justifications. But here's another reason why, or to me, the biggest reason why none of us should be shocked that the attempted murder charges actually came. Because remember, when he got arrested, he was released same night. Footage started to come out of the incident. People were trying to piece it together, puzzle it together. But then this man right here, who allegedly he was into it with, did an interview. Okay? Remember, Antonio Brown's side of the equation is it was a robbery attempt. Niggas went for my jewelry and I defended myself. And that's when everybody says, hey, go earn jewelry. Go earn a living. Don't be out here trying to rob people. If you try to fuck with somebody and you got hurt, people's gonna say you deserved it. You break into somebody's house and you get your ass shot up, they're gonna say you deserved it. Stop breaking into people's houses. Leave people the fuck alone. But this guy did this interview, and we said, wait a minute. How do we talk about a chain or a potential defense over jewelry or robbery when this guy got this whole story about you guys being tied to each other and having back history? This is the reminder of what we checked out back then, and this is what becomes that much more relevant. And be clear, this will be in court. This is a part of the evidence.
So last night you got into it with Antonio Brown. The videos are flying all over the place, and his story, his perspective of what transpired is out.
His story is a half truth. His story is a non-truth. He's a liar, man. I've been knowing AB since 2021. I have a judgment against AB for 180. And why would I want to even damage that by trying to reach for a moissanite and fork metal chain? He's a liar.
The judgment gives motive on Antonio Brown's side a little bit. Like, this guy's got a legal situation with you that you have to pay up for.
You watch the video, everybody was attacking me. It was a 3v1. 3 dudes. The dude with the green hoodie was with AB. The other little Puerto Rican looking dude that was swinging the bat was with.
If you have on video that this man is getting jumped by 2-3 people, that's enough. There's a lot of bad strikes that's on footage and in this interview that he's gonna need a dream team to fight this shit. He really is. And part of me doing the interruptions, people, the only reason I'm doing the interruptions and the reactions instead of playing the video all the way through for y'all is because we played this video already when the news first broke. Okay. So now we're kind of like more in reaction mode.
With AB, and the rest was aiding security. The guy that he kicked was aiding security. All he was doing was pulling him away. So, you know, I saw him. I was in there for like a minute. I came to go support one of the Muslim boxers, and I was with Aki Wave, Rob Money. We took a picture outside. I walked in.
Gotta pause real quick for that. Shout out to Antonio M, man. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, man, we try to move amongst each other with honor, man. And this type of support is always an honor. It's always humbling, man. So shout out to you, Antonio M, one of our newest members, man. Really appreciate you. Everybody welcome this man into the fam.
And then I saw him 1 minute in, and it was up. You know, he stole it. He swung. He tried to swing on me, scratch my neck. You know what I'm saying? And then it just turned into a brawl from there.
I wonder what exactly started it. Did you give him a look? Was there like any indication
listen, I spent 40 days in the Dubai.
Hold on, I gotta grab that one for y'all, because he said during the fight he tried to swing on him, scratched his neck. There's a lot of reports that are coming out saying that he got grazed in his neck from a bullet, but he's on camera here saying that whatever neck injury he got was from the hands shit going on. So let's be careful when we read those titles, people.
Jail because we were out there for a Floyd Mayweather fight. He tried to defraud me out of a multi-millionaire design that I was trying to go talk to. Well, I was going to talk to Floyd about being an ambassador for. I saved him from going to jail in Dubai. He came through with no shirt on, talking to the TSA, the equivalent of TSA customs people, cursing him out. I stepped in because I'm Muslim, greeted him with salam alaikum, let him know, look, he's in the company of Floyd Mayweather. He's a little crazy. I used the word majnoon, and after 40 minutes, they let him go. Long story short, you know what I mean? He gave me something to hold, but then he backdoored and called the police on me and then got me locked up. 3 years later, it came to a head at this Aiden Ross event, and all the cameras out. He went, got a gun, ran wild gunfire, and alhamdulillah, I was spared. So when he saw me, I just reminded him of the financial failure that he's been going through. And so he tried to steal off on me. His partners, he go watch the dude with the green hoodie, taking off, just getting free shots in while me and AB tussling. You know what I'm saying? Then he went, got a gun, ran after me. I'm already put outside.
He's talking way too fast. This isn't like a week later. This is, I believe, the same night of the incident. He's talking way too fast, meaning, you know, truth, when you're sitting on, unless it's a super good speaker and a manipulator, right? There are people like that exist, but the truth comes like this to people, and he seems kind of frantic, like as if his adrenaline is still there in the midst of the fight and the shots. That's how he sounds. Now, when you sound like that, that's sometimes a person that is living in his truth.
He went, got a gun, shot wildfire. We fight. He shot at me twice. Praise be to Allah, wasn't hit. They got children out there selling candy, bro. He could have hit one of them kids. He runs into me after he shoot me. We tussling for the gun, fighting for the gun, all over the ground.
There's police here.
Police out there, bro. We holding on the gun for dear life. We both get up off the ground, and then he's when I look up, the police is pointing the gun at us. The sheriff is pointing the gun at us. That's when I throw my hands up. He runs inside, and that's when they run after him. And that's why, I just left, and that's why he got detained, because all the kids were saying AB shooting. They went got him, but I wasn't there to give a statement, so I guess he lied to him and said whatever. Somebody tried to rob him, but if you look at the footage, you saw he swung first. Nobody reached for no chain. I didn't have no weapon. It's just falsehood. You feel what I'm saying? And he's out here slandering my name. Then he has the audacity to say he's gonna press charges.
What do you got to say to AB right now?
AB, your days are numbered. And however you want to take that. Not that your days are numbered in life, but the days of this ignorant, wild, foolish, reckless way of living cannot sustain you. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be in society living like this, because you're going to harm somebody. You're going to harm yourself. You have children, man. Have some decency about yourself. Get some help. If you took a new name and you went this one, and he wanted me to teach him Islam in Dubai. I come back here, Hebrew Israelite. I don't know what's up with this guy. Look, some soul searching, brother. That's what you need to do. But that ain't my fault, and that ain't my concern.
So yeah, even throwing in his reputation there, you know, that always matters, right? You get arrested today, what do they want to see? Got any past charges? Like that always matters. It could matter with your bail. It could matter with how the judge looks at your case, how the judge and the jury could look at you, your past history, you know, and he already pulling on that. Like I'm not here to convict Antonio Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna have his day in court, and his defense team will be able to speak to their side of the story. They say there's always three sides to the story, right? So we'll remain open-minded, but the initial charge that came back later, he was let go, and then here we are a month later, attempted murder, by the way, all the different pieces of footage that are out, interviews like that are out. The police were there on the scene that will also have their own interpretation of what happened. He said in the midst of a fight, the cops, they looked up and the cops was pointing guns at him. So there's cops that saw things there too. You think those won't be witnesses, right? In the midst of this? So there's a lot of shit here that Antonio Brown got to deal with. And dare I say, if you got to scale it on a 1 to 10, 1 being he's gonna get off, and 10 being, dude, you fucked, I'll leave it just at a 7, because once again, there's 3 sides to every story. And yeah, we want to hear his side and we want to see the evidence that maybe his defense team can present. But a 7 is pretty high without even getting to court because there's already a lot of bad shit. There's already a lot of bad shit that's there. The history is bad. His interview is bad. All the different pieces of footage and cameras are bad. The cops being there is bad. The lawsuit being a factor possibly is bad. His reputation complimenting all of this is not good. Even the footage of him possibly running with his gun, and if shots rang out after that, is bad. It's just a lot of shit. Like, but we'll keep an eye on it, man.